What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a short video, but most importantly, I want to start this out by saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays if you celebrate anything else, and truly, just thank you for being here. Today, with it being Christmas, I kind of wanted to do something a little more laid back and talk about some video games that had some sentimental value to me due to various experiences and times of my life in which they were played, and memories I tend to associate them with. But first up, I wanted to talk a bit about my year, especially with the channel, and honestly, the gift all of you people have already given me, especially if you clicked on this video and you're watching it. Chances are the people watching this video are the people who watch just about everything I put out. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm is weird and sends videos in directions I don't expect, but typically speaking, videos like this are really just for the core audience, if you will. And while I don't want to ramble on about it for too terribly long, I did want to just kind of mention it here at the beginning, and that is that, if you're unaware, I was actually able to start doing YouTube full-time this year and step away from working in the retail industry as a manager, where I made very good money. You know, I actually bought my own house when I was 25, bought it on my own. I was not doing bad by any means, but doing this has always been a dream of mine. And being a father of a toddler these days and getting to spend all of this time with him, because I'm working at home on videos and things, I get to spend a lot more time with my son. So for the people who watch these videos, thank you twofold, honestly, for helping me get to live my dream of what I've wanted to do, and in so doing, enabling me to spend as much time as possible with my young son. So it still every day blows me away that enough people watch these to make things like that possible, so I cannot say it enough. Thank you for that. And now, on to the bulk of the video, where I talk about just a couple games that were important to me for sentimental reasons. Now, first up, we have Diablo 2. So Diablo 2, I played primarily in, middle school, so 10 to 13, you know? And Diablo 2, while it is a great game, was pretty much the only thing I could play at a time where my living situation was very poor, actually. If you don't watch the channel much, I was actually homeless as a teenager for a while. So there was a lot of games from that time period I just didn't get to play that I've gone back and played for the channel, which has been a lot of fun. But Diablo 2 especially, I was able to actually play it. And, it had an offline mode, but when we had internet, I would occasionally get to play on ladder and stuff. And Diablo 2 kind of helped get me through that time, sure, but it was also the first big game that I got super into, where I just did everything all the time. I wanted to get all the items, make the best characters, that type of stuff. My personal favorite was my Wind Druid, and to this day I can remember, he actually had all the gear that you would want ideally for a Wind Druid, but I remember two items in particular I was super proud of because they were perfectly rolled, and these days I honestly don't even remember the stats. I just remember that they were perfectly rolled, one of which was Delirium, which is one of the rune words for a helmet, and the other one was actually the Mage Fist gauntlets. Now, the Delirium I traded for, but I really loved those Mage Fist gauntlets because that was the only perfectly rolled item I ever personally found. And that's just a fun memory I have of playing some Diablo 2. Now, next up, I wanted to mention Final Fantasy XII, which I do not have any footage for. I could realistically buy the remaster, I think, Zodiac Age on Steam, but that seems like a lot for a relatively small part in this video. So whatever footage you see here, just think of Final Fantasy XII instead. Now, Final Fantasy XII is important to me because it's something I got to play with my adoptive father a lot. So again, I was actually homeless and stuff as a teenager, and a family took me in, which is who I'll be spending Christmas today with. And I'd hate to think of where I'd be in life if it wasn't for them. And a very fond memory that I have is actually getting to play Final Fantasy XII with my father. We would actually play it together, which is a little hard for a single-player JRPG style game, but we managed it. But combine that with the great characters from Final Fantasy XII, the Gambit system, which I'm a big fan of, especially as somebody who plays a lot of CRPGs. Balthier is one of my favorite characters in gaming. But I remember this game primarily for just those fond memories. And to bring that full circle a little bit, the last game I want to talk about is actually Biomutant. Now, Biomutant released this year, and I did a review on it, so if you want my full thoughts, feel free to check that out. And while I don't think Biomutant is some perfect, amazing game or anything, as I've mentioned on the channel previously, Biomutant is very important to me because it's the first game I got to play with my son, because Biomutant has a very kid-friendly visual style, and my son, seeing all the animals and stuff, he got really into it, and he would sit in my lap and play with me while I was going through it, and it was just a lot of fun for me, and I got to share the thing I love doing with my son, which hit me right in the feeling, a sort of cat in the cradle style way. But without dragging on for too long, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. So there you go, guys, just kind of some video games that are important to me personally, by all means, share video games that are important to you down below. Thank you again, especially if you watch this whole video. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, may you wander in wisdom, and have an amazing day.